Hi, I'm Carlos LeGerrette, co-founder of the Cesar Chavez Service Clubs, and here to talk a little about photography. And the reason why we're talking about photography is, one, to begin with, let me just let y'all know that there are a lot of individuals who introduce me as Cesar Chavez's personal photographer. There's others that introduce me as the UFW, the United Farm Workers photographer. I was neither one of those two. I happened to be Cesar Chavez's assistant, who was with him quite a bit at the time, and an assistant that always had his camera. And so from that, the days of taking pictures with Cesar, I took thousands of photos. And today, I would say that I have about 5,000 photos in my archive that we're archiving as we speak today. You know, it's always like going through who's in the photo, why is in the photo, when was it, just a lot of things you have to document the photo with. And I have to do that because I was the one who took the photo. And, you know, individuals think that taking a photo is all you have to do is point the camera and take it. Well, that's not taking a photo. You know, taking a photo, I tell people that to take a good photo, to take one good photo, you have to take about 250 not so good photos. And it's very competitive because those 249 photos that didn't make it to number one, hopefully you took those because there was something there that you wanted to convey. And so you learn more from the photos that didn't make number one than you do from the number one, because the number one, well, you made it, so you don't have to look at it for anything. Those that didn't make it, that's where you really learn. It's like you learn more from your failures than you do your successes. Well, you know, photography to me means a whole lot. I started taking photos. I had my first photo, and I think my first photo was taken about 68 years ago. And I think I was in the 5th or 6th grade, and I took a group photo of my classmates. And I think that was my first photo. And I was attracted to taking photos because in our family we always had photos. I don't know how we did it because, you know, developing the photos is expensive, and, you know, being from a very poor family, you know, I still try and figure out how did my mom figure it out how to pay for all that, those photos. So from that, you know, I learned, I think, just in terms of looking at photos that we had around the house, that there's an attraction to that in terms of documenting time and so forth. I didn't know it then as documenting time. I do now because I'm doing the documentation of my photos. A few years ago, for example, I did a photo exhibit at the USD, University of San Diego, and that was the biggest response that they've had of any photo exhibit that they had there. It was fabulous. A lot of old friends and a lot of individuals I never knew, but they came out because of the fact that it was a photo. They called it the Through the Lens of Carlos LeGerrette, and so there's just a great honor to have photos like that up. The exhibit that I had at USD, it was images that went back all the way to about 1968, all the way up till Cesar's passing, when Cesar passed away. And so it took a lot of those photos, a lot of action in terms of strikes and boycotts and movement activities. And little did I know that some of my photos, there's 8 photos. You can imagine 8 photos that start out as an inch and an inch and a quarter, what they call on a proof sheet. That has grown to 8 of those that have been enlarged and are on the Cesar Chavez College parking structure. And so those 8 1-inch by 1.5 inch photo, now they stretch from about 250 feet by 40 feet. And so just those 8 photos stretch out, and so they made a parking lot become like a museum of the photos. And so I'm very fortunate to have my photos on the the structure.